Greetings, all! Today, we'll be examining the relatively rare Fire-type Pokemon Torkoal, the Coal Pokémon. While they might not be among the fastest things on four legs, Torkoal are interesting creatures that can make good use of the most basic of fuel sources to render themselves a fiery danger on the battlefield.
Torkoal have red, scaly skin and stand on four sturdy legs with three small white claws on each foot and a band of black scales around where their ankles are positioned, as well as a ring halfway up their long neck, additionally possessing a short stubby tail and a circular marking on their head. They have a fairly large mouth with open nostrils and eyes that are almost perpetually closed, only seeing through a small slit in their eyelids in order to keep their eyes safe from the heat and smoke that constantly rise from their shells. Their shell is a deep charcoal black color and surrounds the entirety of their torso, with a cracked appearance and numerous vents that open up to the fiery red inside of the shell where they burn coal to produce the energy needed to both survive and utilize their fire-type powers. Although Torkoal can generally rely on most types of fruit and other edible plants for sustenance, their internal body temperatures and fire-type powers are almost completely dependent upon the consumption of coal. Without it, they cannot sustain their fire-type powers and can collapse without the energy it provides them to help keep their forms mobile. When Torkoal find coal, they toss it into the hollow spaces within their shells and burn it, creating white smoke in the process. This smoke naturally envelops Torkoal in a thin mist that can potentially grant them access to the rare white smoke ability as a base ability, though it can also potentially produce enough excess heat to warm the air around them to an extreme degree, granting them access to the drought ability instead. On this same note, those with excessively strong shells can instead possess shell armor as a hidden ability, though it might not work to their favor as much as their two base abilities. When threatened, Torkoal can increase the rate at which they burn coal within their shells, turning the white smoke into a thick curtain of black fog. While the enemy is distracted by the blinding fog, Torkoal then have a chance to flee to safety, making it a vital tool for both offensive and defensive purposes. Aside from the blinding effects of this makeshift smokescreen technique, opponents are often confused by the loud sound that emanates from the nostrils of Torkoal when smoke pours out of them, as it resembles that of a blaring train whistle. This is nothing more than a sound of superheated air rushing out of their nasal passages, but its effect is nonetheless quite potent for those that are unaware.
While they must rely on coal to produce the energy they need to remain active, Torkoal are still able to utilize some of the most powerful fire-type moves known fairly efficiently, including the Heatwave and Inferno attacks.
This does come with a serious drawback, however, because if Torkoal find themselves running out of fuel, their powers will quickly diminish and leave them without the ability to utilize their natural special attacks or even move their bodies. The smoke that comes from their shell can thankfully be used to determine the overall state of health to prevent these instances, as the higher the velocity of the escaping air is, the better their overall health. In addition, when they are on their last legs, it is not uncommon to see Torkoal spewing black soot instead of smoke in an attempt to clean their shells and burn whatever little coal may be left. As such, Torkoal are always on a constant search for coal and will dig just about anywhere for it, even if it means digging within abandoned coal mines that have been empty for years. Thankfully, they are instinctively drawn to the carbon-rich rocks and rarely have any trouble locating them, and not surprisingly, people have been relying on Torkoal for finding new, untapped coal deposits globally for many decades. As far as their combat capabilities are concerned, in terms of stats, Torkoal fall behind in pretty much every department and have below average base stats in nearly every category. The only base stat of theirs that isn't below average for a fully evolved fire-type Pokemon is their base defense stat, which is incredibly high and actually grants them the highest base defense stat out of all fire-type Pokemon, making them fairly decent physical tanks that can take some serious damage in close quarters and make the most of their otherwise average offenses to make an impact in battle, or at the very least, add a little support if they have access to drought.
Though they may be among the slowest of Pokemon and not be the most threatening of creatures outright, Torkoal are still fun reptiles to have around that can make great pets so long as you don't get too close to them while they are seriously burning coal. Whether it's in a backyard, at a cookout, or near hot springs where they like to soak, these reptiles can certainly bring the heat and make life comfortable for those looking for just enough heat to relax after a long day at work or some other source of stress.
Just do yourself a favor and try not to agitate them if you're in their vicinity. Otherwise, they might cloud the air around them with smoke just to lower your guard before delivering a body slam attack that is sure to make you think twice about agitating these coal-powered walking furnaces ever again. Thank you all for watching this video. It is always an honor to be able to speak with you all on the subject of Pokemon in a way that brings me great joy and happiness in my work. If you would like to keep tabs on past and future work, click that subscribe button, check out my work on DeviantArt, and don't be shy about following me on Twitter, where you can find pertinent announcements on upcoming work before it is officially posted. Links to both can be found in the video description. If you would like to support my work and help Miguel and I continue to produce more content for you and improve upon our presentation, please visit us at my Patreon page, which you can also find a link to in the video description.
Yep, no.
With that, I thank you for watching and I wish you well.